Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basement Monsters Game Day podcast on SportsZone Chicago. I'm Ivan Vargas with Luke Nettles and our guest for the evening, Michael Halitech, my co-host on the Bear League pregame show and Halitech Hall. Guys, it kind of went the way I wanted. Actually, Mike, it kind of went the exact way that you saw it. You were messaging me saying, that pretty much saying that the Buffalo Bills pretty much owe you some beer.
I want to thank the entire Bills organization for making me look smart at halftime. I said they need to get the passing game going, and they connected on a few passes early in the first drive of the second half to score a touchdown. Mm-hmm. And I also said they need a big play from their defense, and they gave me a 101-yard interception pick six. So I want to thank the organization for making me look smart.
Luke, man, like I thought it was going to be a lot closer than it was, but like honestly, it really, in a way, it was. But that pick six was all she wrote.
Oh yeah, that's going to kill you every time. I mean, that was great coverage by them, though. I mean, like the back there, he's faking kind of one way, and then just paid attention to Lamar the whole time, and Lamar just stared the guy down, so he just jumped in front. He even looked back to see if he was going to be tackled before he left the end zone. So once he saw that, he was like, "I'm out of here." And then they, luckily they had a blocker out there with him too, because obviously Lamar would have ran that guy down, but he had that blocker. So yeah, Buffalo's moving on, man. And now it's going to be interesting to see who they play, either Cleveland or Kansas City. It's going to be an interesting game coming up next week.
And you know what? It was pretty much in control after that. The Buffalo Bills, they didn't do anything too out of the ordinary, like out of sorts. Their offense was good enough. There was a couple of, I wouldn't say big plays, but that touchdown coming out of the gate, that was huge. It was methodical. It was run, pass. They did what they wanted. They imposed their will, and it paid dividends. But like I said, the backbreaker, the pick six, Lamar, Mike, you said it best. Whoever is going to win this game is going to be the quarterback that could stay in the pocket and deliver. And that happened to be Josh Allen tonight. And honestly, I don't know if it really was necessarily Josh Allen taking it over, but a bad interception by Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to give my sincere thanks to Vernon, who thinks I'm pretty smart too. So, it just broke exactly the way that the Bills needed it to. And of course, with Lamar getting injured on that play where they had the bad snap, and he ended up throwing the ball away at what almost ended up being a safety. And he got injured in the play. I didn't catch if they said exactly what the injury was.
Concussion. When you saw the play, obviously.
Yeah, he snapped back. His head snapped.
Yeah, his head snapped back. It was a concussion. He was in concussion protocol.
But with being down 2 scores, and not having Lamar in there, that game was over.
And we said that, I had mentioned it before, Mike. I asked you, is 10 that it? And then they could coast? Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it coasting, but it was pretty much coasting, in my opinion, for the Buffalo Bills. I understand that the Baltimore Ravens are driving, and it was only a 101-yard pick six that got them to 17-10, or otherwise it would be a one-possession game. But we were talking about just 2 possessions. Just 2 possessions for the Ravens. How do they find that? Like, how do they find that extra possession or 2? Well, I don't want to put it all on Lamar. I feel like he doesn't have enough playmaker. I don't know if he has enough playmakers, if he's not reading the field correctly, if the guys aren't getting open, if the guys can't get open. I don't understand what's going on with Lamar Jackson where he is struggling in the passing game.
Well, I don't think he was ever known for being a great quarterback. He's a great athlete, but if you can keep him penned in the pocket and make him throw, I don't think he is that astute of a quarterback. So the Bills did what they needed to do to take Lamar out of the game.
So basically, he's Mitch.
With better legs.
With better legs. Mitch with better legs. So, like Luke, I don't like you. You've been a huge critic of Lamar Jackson, and I was like, man, he's good in spots, but not against good defenses. And we've seen it too many times against good defenses or defenses that can match his speed. He's pretty much bottled up. So you let him beat you with his arm. What does it have to take? Does Baltimore have to get an influx of fast playmakers? Like, does he need more help around him, like a significant amount of help? Or can you get by with a solid tight end, a speedy receiver, a possession guy? Do you need multiple stars around him is what I'm saying in order for Lamar to be Lamar?
Well, I mean, it's not going to hurt. I mean, you can see how good he is without him. You basically have 4 running backs when you include all 3 of the running backs, and then you add Lamar. Marquise Brown is about your only threat deep. Andrews is solid, but then it falls off. It's like, who's the next guy? Willie Snead? I mean, like, who's the next guy there to help him out in that passing game? But I don't know that would help him. I really do not believe that Lamar can read a field and make the correct throws when it counts. I don't think he can. I just don't think he can. I think, you got what you wanted. You got a team that wants to run the ball, control the clock, and and like I said, that Baltimore's not going to be this 30-35 point team. They're just not going to be. It's just simple math. They want to consume the clock and they want to run the ball, and they've got 4 guys that can do that. It's just when they fall behind. And they have to play catch up. Running the ball isn't your best friend anymore. So they're going to have to find somebody else. I mean, you got to give him help. I mean, you have to. Sometimes it takes one guy.
The team had more. I think it's the most rushing yards in a 6-game span since the 55-56 Bears. So like they know that. I mean, they could win running the football. It's, can you make enough passes downfield to get you in position to close it in the playoffs? Because in the playoffs, it's the best of the best. You're not facing half-ass defenses.
And this game was almost a lot closer than everybody like to admit. Because if Huntley hits that guy wide open down the sideline, that's another touchdown right there.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that could have been huge. But the first year guy, and he comes in and it's like, I got to start my first game in a playoff game. I mean, it's a lot of pressure, but. I think Baltimore will be fine. I mean, they're obviously their division now. I mean, you got to almost start talking about it becoming one of the stronger divisions now, because all those teams in that division are getting better. I mean, the Steelers are still good. Cincinnati's got Joe Burrow. They need a couple more guys, but Joe Burrow's going to be around for a long time. And then you got the Browns that are, we're going to see them tomorrow in Kansas City. So, they're going to have to do something, because that division is going to be tough, and they might be having to scratch their way in every year.
I agree, it's getting better, and Millie, I mean, I would say he doesn't have anywhere to go. Not so much the selfish, but I just feel like he has nowhere to go. Like, you either have Hollywood Brown deep, or they cover the middle with Andrews, and that's it, and they know you're running the ball after that. I feel like there's not enough playmakers on the team, or there's just not enough talent on the team to have Lamar go sit back there in the pocket and look for guys to get open. To me, it's a personnel issue. You need to get guys in there that can get open for Lamar. You need faster guys. 1, 2, 3. Like, you need guys that are twitchy, if you will. Boom, get open real quick. get open short and they'll go run after the catch. Honestly, the best receiver, the prototypical receiver, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, is a dude from Kansas City, Tyreek Hill. Like the prototypical receiver in these types of offenses now is Tyreek Hill, because all he can do is get away from you.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, north and south, he can get away from you. East and west, he can get away from you. Unless you have a guy like that, it's hard for things to open up.
Yeah, it would be nice to have Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill as your receivers. Don't you think?
I mean, what's a fantasy camp, right?
For the Ravens, as it was, they ended up not counting sack yardage. They threw for 222 yards, and they had 80, 100. I mean, 42, 42, 34, and 32 split between their top running backs, and that's both with Huntley and Jackson each getting a total of 66 yards. So 66, 108, 140, 150 yards and 212 yards. So they had a pretty decent offensive output. They just didn't get the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the name of the game, and we know that all too well, being Bears fans. And I'm not going to say Lamar can't change, but you're going to have to put a lot around him in order to find success in the pocket with Lamar. You need to put a hell of an offensive line together. I'll say this that much. That's got to be the start. I'm not saying that they're a bad offensive line, but in pass protection, I feel like they're vulnerable.
Yeah, and Buffalo was getting there with only 4 guys tonight.
Yeah, 4 guys, a 4-man rush, and we saw Tennessee, and I mentioned that earlier. Tennessee had 4 sacks in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe 5, and then they had a couple more later on. Tennessee was right in it, even though Lamar went off in that game. It was a very close game. You can't allow that. Like with a quarterback that needs time, extra time, extended time, even though he can extend the play by himself, you want to win in the pocket. So you need guys that can protect him. If you don't have the guys, it's going to be Lamar scramble right, Lamar scramble left, look downfield, look downfield, nobody's downfield. Can I run? No. Can I pay? Like it's going to be like that. He's either going to get out of the pocket and scramble for some yards, or he's going to be sacked downfield trying to force the ball time in and time out once they make the team one-dimensional. I feel like Lamar Jackson is on his way. He's just not there yet, man. Baltimore doesn't have a team. This run-heavy shit, I don't think that's going to fare well for him later on. If you really want him to be the quarterback later on, unless this has been all a gimmick, all a bridge type of a team, like for a few, maybe like half a decade, 5 years, you try this out, and if it doesn't work, you scrap it. Like I could see that happening with Baltimore. I just don't know if Lamar's the guy per se. Mike, what do you think?
It's a great college offense that Baltimore runs, but it doesn't equate to the NFL game, especially in the postseason. That's the whole problem. Lamar has made it to the playoffs 3 consecutive seasons. They've only won 1 game, so they're 1-3. Counting the 1 victory was last week. So when you get to the postseason and you can make Lamar beat you by throwing the ball rather than letting him run rampant, around you, you're gonna that's gonna be a winning recipe all day long.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it all falls on Lamar. I mean, that's great. He was an MVP, and he's been to the playoffs. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, it's not all Lamar. Lamar's benefited from some stellar defenses, and there's some other quarterbacks out there that could probably go farther with this Ravens team if they were on that team. To Lamar, I mean, yeah, he's a playmaker. He's I mean, he's like the human highlight, really. You just plug him in and boom, watch him go. But I mean, like like I said, when they get down to, big yardage situations and they need to come back from behind, like he can't get it done. And I don't know, do they maybe, especially with having that many running backs, you would think that the play action would be such a big thing for them. But when you only have one receiver that can run down the field and get down to where, a deep threat, and then the defense knows that that's your only threat going down that field, then, it kind of negates it, and it makes you force it. You have to throw shorter, and that just eats more clock.
And that's why I said it's hard because I don't want to scrap him. I don't want to be I don't want to be like Lamar because I've seen him make good throws. I've seen him make quality throws. But are you putting are you running the correct system right now, or do you have the right guys to teach him how to be a pocket passer? Can he be a pocket passer? I think he has the arm. I think he has the composure. I don't know if he necessarily can read. I don't know what it is with Lamar that he can't produce down the field through the passing game.
Yeah, that's why I think they need that second, at least another good, speedy receiver. Because with two guys, as opposed to only having one, because it's easy. Everybody knows. Okay, I thought Duvernay was actually going to be that guy for a minute, and then he kind of just tailed off. But if they had another big receiver or somebody that could get down the field a lot quicker, I think that would open up that offense. But as of right now, it's basically a two-headed receiving core. It's Brown and Andrews. So yeah, I think that for sure, if they want to try to help him out a little more, I would definitely try to get him another receiver. But until they do that, and like I said, who knows? We may not know anything. It may all be between Lamar's ears. It may be Lamar just overthinking or not commenting, or maybe he's a little more anxious than we see. You don't know. But you would think a guy with talent like that would be able to get it done through the air. But like I said, he doesn't really have much to throw to, so you can't really fault him on that.
I feel like the best is yet to come for Lamar. I just don't think it's going to be completely through the air. I think he's going to have to be a 200 to 250 type of a quarterback as far as yards. Hit your open guys just above a game manager. Just above a game manager, because you're still going to be athletic enough to get out of the pocket and keep plays alive. I just don't think you're going to be Pat Mahomes.
No.
I don't think you're going to be that.
Nobody in the league is going to be a Pat Mahomes. I'm going to predict this because of the young quarterbacks that are, especially in the AFC, with Joe Burrow, with Josh Allen, with the kid that's on the Chargers, Herbert. Lamar Jackson will never win a Super Bowl in the NFL.
I agree. Unless he gets traded, and he lands somewhere where they have, like a freak situation, like you land in Kansas City with all their talent. But yeah,
it'll be later in his career. It'll be later in his career as a backup if he does. Yeah. I would see that. But as a starter, as being the head honcho, the guy, no. He's not going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback as that. He might be a Super Bowl winning backup quarterback, but I don't think he's going to be the guy to lead a team to the Super Bowl. It's just there's not enough plays downfield that I could see in his resume that make me believe that this guy, when the game's on the line, when you're down 5, when you're down 4, when you need a touchdown, that he's going to lead you back with 2 minutes, a minute and a half, 3 minutes. I don't believe it. I don't believe Lamar's that guy. I just don't. I feel like his best asset is his legs, and if he can't use his legs,
not much left.
That's pretty much it. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm not saying that it's an impossibility. I just don't think it'll happen. Just like you guys. I can't see it. You can't see it. Mike, you said it perfect. It's a college offense.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sitting here watching the NFL Network, and when you think about it, you've got the young guns in the AFC versus the old dogs in the NFC. So you've got Aaron Rodgers, who's 38 years old, I think. You've got Drew Brees or Brady, who are both in their 40s. So that's going to be, I think Aaron Rodgers even talked about it in his post-game press conference, that it's probably going to be the oldest two quarterbacks in the history of the NFL meeting in an NFC title game versus, in the AFC, it could be an AFC or any conference championship game with the combined age of the two quarterbacks being the smallest in the history of the NFL. So it's the young guns versus the old dogs. It will be the young guns versus the old dogs in the Super Bowl in 3 weeks.
I look forward to it, man. I really look forward to this season. Has been it's been funky, and I know our Bears our Bears kind of shit the bed, but the season itself has been kind of like, man, it almost feels like anything goes at this point. I don't necessarily feel like one of these teams in it is dominant, even though if I'm going to pick a team, I hate to say it, it's going to be the team in green and gold, because right now I just feel like they're the most balanced that I could tell. Yeah, I mean that's that. I'll say that much. If there's going to be a lead dog, it'll be Green Bay, but I'll say watch out for Kansas City. Watch out for Kansas City, of course, because you have one guy that could just make everything right when everything goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? He's that kind of a guy, and Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. That rematch of Super Bowl 1 and 2. It could be a fun one. I'm not gonna lie, it could be a fun one. But guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'm exhausted. I'm probably gonna finish my beer and get out of here and go to bed. Mike, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Sorry about the first game, and I was just like, ugh. I hate myself for doing it, but I appreciate you for just brushing it aside and saying, "Don't worry about it, kid."
No worry. I'm I'm the new guy, and it was a little bit outside of your routine, so it's absolutely not a problem. But it's always a pleasure to talk football anytime, anywhere. And getting to do it with two fun guys like you and Luke, you can have me on the show anytime you want. Awesome, Mike. Thank you, Luke. Thank you for coming out, man. As always, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Get out of here. This has been the Base Monsters Game Day podcast on SportsZone Chicago. Check us out tomorrow. There's 2 more games. We got Cleveland and Kansas City, and then Luke, your boys, the Bucks. Go ahead and take on the Saints for the 3rd time, an epic 3rd time. I feel like it's going to be Brady Breeze for all the marbles, I guess, in the NFC South.
We're itching to get back at Green Bay.
Yeah, it's itching to get back at Green Bay because you took care of business that first time, but right. The regular season is a regular season. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Later.
Have a good
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.